August 18th, 1590. After 3 agonizing years at sea, Governor John White finally stepped ashore on Roanoke Island. The sun was setting, casting long, eerie shadows across the wilderness. He expected to hear the laughter of children, the chopping of firewood, and the warm greetings of his family. Instead, he was met with a terrifying, heavy silence. The settlement was completely empty. Over 100 English men, women, and children had vanished into thin air. There were no signs of a brutal battle, no bloodstains on the soil, no bodies, and no graves. It was as if an entire community had been erased from the face of the earth. The only thing left behind was a chilling message. Carved deeply into a wooden fort post was a single cryptic word, CROATOAN, and on a nearby tree, just 3 letters. C-R-O.
What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Did they willingly abandon their homes, or were they taken by something far more sinister? Today, we unwrap every dark detail of America's greatest unsolved historical mystery. To understand how 115 people could disappear without a trace, we must travel back to the year 1587. Queen Elizabeth I was desperate to expand the British Empire and challenge Spain's dominance in the New World. A wealthy explorer named Sir Walter Raleigh funded an ambitious expedition to establish the first permanent English colony in North America. Raleigh chose John White, an artist and mapmaker, to govern this new society. Unlike previous military expeditions, this group was different. It included 89 men, 17 women, and 11 children. These were families looking to build a new life, a new home, and a future.
Among them was Eleanor Dare, John White's pregnant daughter. Shortly after arriving on the brutal, unfamiliar shores of Roanoke Island, Eleanor gave birth to a baby girl named Virginia Dare. She was the very first English child born in the Americas, a symbol of hope for the entire colony. But that hope quickly turned into horror. The settlers had arrived too late in the season to plant crops. Their food supplies were dwindling fast. To make matters worse, tensions with the local Native American tribes were rapidly escalating. Desperate and starving, the colonists begged Governor John White to sail back to England immediately to secure emergency food, tools, and reinforcements. John White arrived in England in late 1587, ready to gather supplies and immediately head back to Roanoke. But history had other plans. Just as he was preparing his return fleet, a massive political crisis exploded. The Anglo-Spanish War reached its peak. King Philip II of Spain launched the legendary Spanish Armada, a colossal fleet of warships designed to invade England.
Queen Elizabeth I issued a desperate decree. Every single English vessel, no matter how small, was seized and drafted into the Royal Navy to defend the homeland. John White was trapped. For 3 agonizing years, he watched the calendar flip, knowing his family was thousands of miles away, starving and terrified on a hostile island. By the time the war ended and White finally secured a ship, 3 long years had passed. It was August 1590 when the coast of Roanoke finally appeared on the horizon. As John White's ship anchored near the island, his crew spotted a column of smoke rising from the trees. Relieved, White ordered the rowboats to shore, blowing trumpets and singing familiar English songs into the dark woods. But no one answered. The only response was the sound of the wind through the trees. When they reached the settlement, White's heart sank. The entire village was completely dismantled. The houses had not been burned down, they had been carefully taken apart. A heavy wooden palisade, built like a fort, had been erected around the empty site. White searched every inch of the fort for a carved Maltese cross, the secret code for distress. There was no cross. Suddenly, a massive storm rolled in. Terrified of losing their own lives, the crew forced John White to abandon the search. Broken-hearted, White sailed away, never knowing the fate of his family.
Theory number 1. The CROATOAN assimilation. The word CROATOAN referred to a nearby island home to a friendly tribe. Many historians believe that as food ran out, the colonists simply packed up and moved 50 miles south to live with the CROATOAN people. Centuries later, European explorers encountered Native Americans on that island who had striking grey eyes and could read English fluently. Theory number 2. The Powhatan slaughter. A much darker theory suggests a brutal end. Some records indicate that Chief Powhatan, the powerful leader of a rival tribe, later confessed to English leaders that he had slaughtered the Roanoke colonists because they allied themselves with a rival indigenous group. If true, the bodies were buried deep within the untamed wilderness, never to be found. Theory number 3, the secret inland migration. In recent years, archaeologists using advanced ground-penetrating radar discovered a hidden clue on John White's original 1587 map. Covered under a small patch of paper was a hidden symbol of a fort located 60 miles inland. Recent excavations at this site have uncovered 16th century English pottery, suggesting that at least some of the lost settlers may have survived deep in the American mainland.
Today, Roanoke Island is a beautiful, peaceful place, but beneath its soil lies a haunting secret that history refuses to reveal. Were they survivors who blended into a new culture, or were they victims of a forgotten war? What do you believe happened to the lost colony? Leave your theories in the comments below. I read every single one of them. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.